My name is Anshuman. I come from Bhubaneswar and I did my engineering from NIT Rourkela. I worked shy of 3 years before coming to XLRI. And the way that I went about quantitative section is I used to prepare alternative days for quantitative decision making and for your verbal. And quantitative being my strong suit, given I'm an engineer and I have a mathematically oriented brain, it came very naturally to me. So I made sure that it becomes my strength on the D-Day. I prepared extensively and I covered all the topics and all type of questions that can come in. Now, having said that, a self-study is just as important as peer learning. When you are preparing for your exams, you need to have a group of friends who constantly encourage you and prepare you for the D-Day, and they make sure that you cover all the sections, because it is a very stressful journey and you can skip out on a few things if you're just by yourself. Now, coming to how to go about it, what I did was, what worked for me was each section that we have or each topic that we have in Quant, I prepared separately and I made sure that I gained strength in each of them. So if you're seeing something as your weakness, you need to practice more and more, because that is all it is about. You need to practice, you need to know the concept before you can go to the exam. Now, coming to the D-Day part of things, when I went to the exam, I looked for questions that were on the easier side. So how you can identify is upon you. These are the questions that would be solved in less than a minute per se. And then you can go into the questions that take more time. This way, you do not lose confidence, given when you see the clock, you have done less number of questions. When you see that you have done, okay, this many number of questions and you know that they are correct, then you can move on to the questions that you feel are difficult. And that is the way I went about it. I gave probably 1 or 1.5 hours to Quant, and I tried to solve almost all of the questions that were which were in my domain. Then I went on to the other sections, which I probably wasn't as confident as. So when I came for the D-Day, I made sure that I do not have any baggage on my shoulders, because that is something very important. Even though if you are 100% prepared, you know everything, if you have pressure on you, that will work negatively for you. But on the other side, if you, let's say, you're 90 or 80% prepared, but you're confident about your strengths, then you can definitely ace it. Now, coming to the strategy that I followed, I was very chill when I came to the exam room. I took my time. I did the section that I was good at to get confidence. And after that, I went to the sections I was relatively weaker at. Now, coming to the strategy I followed in each section, in quantitative, I extensively covered all the subjects that was going to come in the exam, because in that you have time to attempt all questions. I made sure I attempted all the ones that I know, and which were probably some 95% of the questions. And then going to DM and verbal section, it's something that I get intuitively rather than I study. So I made sure I practice those questions, similar question that comes in that, and I understand and I develop thinking that will help me answer those questions. The same thing I got in my DM section. So when you're eliminating answers, you need to understand if you have two answers that are probable and you need to take a call, that is something that could go against you, because the 50% probability you'll get it right. So that is somewhere you need to take a step back and need to understand if you're going to answer it or not. If you are confident enough that this is the answer I'm going to go ahead with, then only you should go.